Hi all, in this session we are going to learn about Azure Application Gateway. Here we can learn what is Application Gateway, how to create and where we are going to use this. Everything we are going to discuss in detail and I am going to show it to you in a practical manner as well. Let us quickly understand what do you mean by Azure Application Gateway. Here, the Azure Application Gateway is a platform managed, scalable, and highly available application delivery service which has been offered by the Microsoft Azure. Here, if you want to make your application highly scalable and highly available, then Application Gateway is the one of the option which we will get from the Azure. By using this Application Gateway, we can make our application highly available and highly scalable. Means, what do you mean by highly available? Even though the backend service has been down, it is not going to down your application. By using the another service, it can be able to run your application. And scalable means whenever the traffic has been increased, it is going to increase the backend resources. Whenever the traffic comes to normal, it is going to decrease the resources. Based on the conditions which we are going to set, it is going to make highly available and highly scalable of your application. And let us discuss about the features of the Azure Application Gateway. Here, the Application Gateway is going to work in layer 7. Here, it is working which layer? Layer 7. Fine. It is going to handle HTTPS or HTTP traffic with URL based routing and cookie affinity. What do you mean by cookie affinity? Here, it is going to keep the user session on the same server. Means if I have the backend 100 servers are there, you don't know which server is going to hit the traffic. Whenever user is connected to any server, it is going to keep the session of a user with that particular server only. That is nothing but a affinity, cookie affinity. And one more thing, SSL termination simplifies certificate management for secure traffic. Here you need to make the traffic which is hit to your application make secure. By using the certificate, you are going to make the traffic which hits to your application or secure. And security feature. Here it has been integrated with the web application firewall which is used to protect your application from external threats or security threats. And let us discuss some more advantages. What are the advantages? It is going to provide us 99.95% uptime SLA for multi-instance deployment and autoscaling feature, zone redundancy support, and it is going to support for public, private and hybrid websites. Not only we can be able to deploy public applications on top of Application Gateway, we can be able to host private applications as well, means intranet applications. And it has been integrated web application firewall which is used to protect the application from security threats, and it can be used to management through Azure APIs. So this is all the features which we will get by using the Application Gateway. Here the main difference between the Azure Load Balancer and the Application Gateway is the Azure Load Balancer is going to work on the layer 4. That's why it is called as a network load balancer. And coming to the Application Gateway, it is going to work on the layer 7. Means it is going to allow the traffic of HTTP or HTTPS traffic. Here we are going to enable this HTTP2 support as well. What we will get if I enable this option, what will happen? It is going to enable faster multiplexed connections for better performance. If I want to make my application to perform better way, then I am going to enable this option. Okay, let us show to you each and everything in a practical manner. And I'm going to quickly log into the Azure portal. Here right now I'm in the Azure portal. Just click on resource group in order to check whether I have any existing resource group is there or not. Right now I don't have any. I am going to create one resource group. I am going to set the name is RG1. Just click on create. Then the resource group will be created soon. So once the resource group has been successfully created, what you need to do, instead of the resource group, first of all, the thing you need to create is virtual network. If you fail to create the virtual network or customize the network, then what will happen? The Azure is going to provide some kind of default network to you. You can use the default network as well. But right now, I am going to create my own defined network. So that's why. So I had selected the virtual network service. Then select the resource group as RG1. The virtual network name is vnet1 and click on next and click on next. Here you need to define your workspace. By default, the workspace is 10.0.0.0/16, means you can be able to put 65,536 IP address inside of this. And if you want to create one more subnet, by default one subnet will be provided by the Azure while creating a virtual network. That is the default subnet. I am going to name as subnet1, and here I am going to set the range between 10.0.1.0, means the range is from 10.0.1.0 to 10.0.1.255, means in this range I will get 256 IP addresses. Click on save. And if I want to add one more subnet, where I can be able to do, click on add subnet, and here what I will do, here I am going to create one subnet delegation, because of while creating the application gateway, you need to create one subnet in your virtual network which is dedicatedly for subnet, which is dedicated for application gateway. Here simply type application gateway, here Microsoft network or application gateways. Okay, you are going to create application gateway. The range is from 10.0.0 to 2.0, means the range is from 10.0.2.0 to 10.0.2.255 here, and you are going to name as default or application gateway, application gateway. The name must be with the letter or number and underscore. Okay, here space has been there, so that's why it is not accepting. Okay, I am going to mention as GW gateway, application gateway. Click on add and click on review plus create. Here what we had done, we just created one virtual network, and inside of the virtual network I had two subnets. The first subnet name is subnet1, and the range is 10.0.1.0 to 10.0.1.255, and the second subnet is application gateway subnet, because while creating the application gateway we need to provide some kind of dedicated subnet, so that's why I had created another subnet. So right now what I will do, so I am quickly creating one virtual machine. Here just click on virtual machine. Before creating the application gateway, I am supposed to create one virtual machine. Just click on create. Here I am going to select the RG1 as my resource group, and virtual machine name is web server 1, and I am going to select the region East US. Availability zone is no infrastructure redundancy required, and security standard. I am going to select the image Windows Server 2019 and come down. Here I am going to set the username and I am going to set the password for the VM. Here I am going to allow the ports HTTP, HTTPS, and click on next. Here in the coming to the networking, I am going to create the virtual machine which is in the virtual network which I had defined. So it is vnet1, and here it has been taken application gateway, but it is dedicated for the application gateway, so that's why I am going to select the subnet 1. Fine. Here I am going to select the public IP. Okay, fine. Just click on review plus create. What will happen? So it is going to create the virtual machine in the virtual network, but it is going to create in the inside of subnet 1. Here the application gateway subnet is only dedicated for what? Application gateway. Here I am going to set the prerequisites. So initially I had created the resource group. Inside of the resource group I have the virtual network. In virtual network I have two subnets, and I had created one VM as well inside of the subnet 1. So the prerequisites has been successfully completed. So right now I am going to create application gateway. Here the application gateway is a kind of load balancer which has been provided by the Microsoft Azure in order to make our application highly available and highly scalable. Remember this, guys. And here, if you didn't see the application gateway option here, type simply application gateway in the search bar, then you will find the option application gateway. Just click on create. Here I am going to select the resource group as RG1. Application gateway name is Sunil IT Tech. It is purely my option. It's a custom option, and I am going to select the region as East US and tier. So here we have the three tiers are there, like basic, standard V2, WAF, web application firewall version 2. Suppose if you select the basic, then you will be able to see in one way, like you didn't get the option to set minimum number of instances and maximum number of instances required in order to scale up your application. But when I select the standard V2 or WAF V2, the options are similar. So instead of selecting the WAF, I am going to select the standard V2. Why? Because of if I select the WAF V2, means I am going to integrate with the web application firewall, means that web application firewall service will be added to the application load balancer or application gateway. What will happen? The Azure is going to charge me more. Why? Based on the options which I am going to select, the Azure is going to charge me accordingly. Azure is going to provide lot of options. Based on the options which is suitable for my application, I am going to choose out that options. Each option based on the options or based on the usage, based on the things, only the Azure is going to charge you. So that's why instead of selecting the WAF V2, I am going to select standard V2. Here I am going to enable the auto scaling, and here you need to set minimum instance count or and maximum instance count. Here instance is nothing but a virtual machine or server. So at any point of time, in order to run my application, I am going to make the minimum instance count is 1, and under the maximum traffic I am going to set the maximum count is 5. Means what will happen? If there is a normal traffic or no traffic is there, at any point of time the load balancer or application gateway is going to maintain one instance in order to make my application live and able to serve the traffic. And if the traffic has been increased, what the application gateway will do? It is going to increase the instance count. Up to how much extent? Up to 5 instances. Here we can set the maximum number. Up to how much instance I can be able to increase? The max limit is 125. If you want to check the same, I am going to show it to you. Type 130. It is not going to accept you. 1. No. Yes. 9. 9. No, 119. So 130, 190. Is it allowing me? No. It is going to allow me to set the maximum limit up to 125 only. Okay. Fine. Here I am going to set 5. But how it is going to increase the VMs count? So there is some kind of pattern is there. So based on the conditions you are going to set, whenever the conditions has been reached, like if a CPU usage is more than 80% for the 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then only it is going to increase the VM number. So if there is no load or less than 20% of CPU usage, then only it is going to reduce the instance. So everything I am going to show to you guys, no worries. Here IP address, as I am going to use IPv4 only. Suppose in your environment if you have dual stack, means IPv4 and IPv6, then you can select the dual stack as well. But right now IPv4 is fulfill my requirement, so that's why I am going to select IPv4 address. Here HTTP2, what will happen? It is going to improve the performance of my application, as I already shown out to you guys. Here by using the HTTP2 enables faster and multiplex connections for better performance. So in order to increase the performance of my application, I am going to enable this HTTP2 virtual network. In virtual network I want to establish VNet1. This thing is already I had created, and here I am going to select the application gateway subnet in order to create the application gateway. Means this application gateway is only dedicated for application gateway only. Just click on next. Here you have the option front end. Front end is just a mediator between the public traffic and your backend servers. What will happen? Whatever the traffic which comes to your application is going to the front end. It is going to hit the front end only. From the front end, the traffic will be distributed across the backend servers. So here I am going to mention some front end thing like public IP or private IP or both. So based on the scenario, you need to select accordingly. Here I am going to deploy some kind of public application, so that's why I need to create one public IP. Whoever is trying to access application, means from internet, whoever is trying to access your application, they are going to hit it to this front end IP only. Here right now I don't have any public IP with me, so just I am going to create one public IP. Pub IP means public IP. Just click on OK. Public IP will be allocated soon. Right now it is not allocated. Once I click on the deployment, the public IP will be created and it will be automatically assigned to this front end. And click on next. Here you need to select the backend targets. Okay, the application traffic will be hit to the front end. From front end, where the application will be routed. Obviously it will be routed to the backend servers. So here I need to define some backend group, and inside of the backend pool I need to add the targeted environment. So I'm going to show it to you guys. Here just click on add backend pool. Here I'm going to name as BP1, backend pool 1. Okay, and add backend pool without a targets. Yes. If you want to add the backend pool without targets, click on yes. No. If you want to add the backend pools with targets, then from here you can be able to select the targets. So here I have the target or not? Yes, you have the target right now. You have the one VM is there. You have one VM is there. So you need to add this VM as a target if you want. Otherwise, I can add it later as well. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you guys. No worries. Here, if you select the virtual missions, here which virtual mission right now I have? Web server 1 RG. So here web server I am going to select. Just click on add. Next. Here the front end IP we had provided, backend pool we had created, and the target has been already added. Right now I need to define some kind of routing rules. Based on this routing rules only, the application gateway is allowing the traffic to your web application. Just click on here and you are going to set the rule number 1. Assume you are going to make the listener rule name is rule 1, and priority is you have up to 20,000 is there. So based on the priority, it is going to pass the rules. Suppose if you click here, up to from starting 1 to up to 20,000. If you type 21,000, is it accepting? No. Up to 20,000 only we have the numbers is there. So here I am going to set the number as 10. Lower the number means higher the priority. Higher the number means lower the priority. Here we need to set the listener name. So based on the listener name, the traffic which has been hitted to the front end IP will be distributed across the backend pools. Here, as we discussed, I can be able to host multiple applications on a single gateway. How that will be possible? Based on the listener rules which I am going to define, it is possible I can be host multiple web applications on top of single application gateway. So here for this option we have multi-site. If you have the multiple applications, based on the nature of the listener rule, if it is forwarded to the particular application, we are going to make multi-site. Suppose if you have only single web application, you just want to make the traffic to that particular application only, then you can continue with the basic. Here I am going to make the listener rule, listener list listener r1. So the front end IP is IPv4 and the port is front end IP protocol is HTTP and the port of the listener type is basic. And if you have the multiple sites, then you can select multi-site, otherwise you can ignore. And whenever there is a kind of issue or maintenance happen to your application, then at that time, what is your requirement? You want to convey the message to your end users who is trying to access your application. Then in those scenarios, we have the options. Bad gateway means whenever your application is not reachable, here we are going to mention some HTML file URL. It is redirecting your end users to this URL which you are going to define here. Suppose if your application is not available, if there is any forbidden error, at that time you can mention some kind of link here. Based on the link which you are going to define here, whenever user is trying to access your application, when there is a forbidden error, it is going to redirect the users who are trying to connect your application to the URL which are going to mention here. Okay, click on add. Here it is asking to set the backend targets. Here front end is okay, listener rule is okay. So based on the listener rule, what will happen? It is going to redirect the traffic to the backend targets. Suppose if I have the multi-host, I can sell the multi-host. I can add multi-listener rules. Based on the things, I am going to route to the backend traffic or backend targets. Here I am going to sell the target type as backend pool. Here backend target is BP1, means backend pool 1, and backend settings. Here backend settings is nothing. So if you want to add, click on add here. The backend setting name is BS1, backend setting 1, and you are going to allow the same port. Means how you are going to make the front end port as HTTP. In the similar way, you are going to make the backend protocol as HTTP only. Generally, HTTP is a normal traffic. HTTPS is also a secure traffic, means the client is going to provide some kind of certificate. Securely, he will be able to connect to your web application. But right now, as we are going to host for lab purposes, so that's why I'm going to select the HTTP. The port number of HTTP is 80 and the port number of HTTPS is 443. And cookie based affinity means if you want to keep the user session for a particular server, means for a long time, then you can check the cookie affinity. And connection draining, where we are going to use the connection draining, helps gracefully remove backend pool members during planned service updates. Means on monthly basis, we are going to update the patches to our VMs. Suppose if I am going to update the patches to my VMs, which are the backend servers of my web application, then there is a chance the application is going to down. So in order to avoid that, if I enable this option, it is not going to apply the patches to the servers which are in the backend. Okay, and just click on add. Here just click on add. Successfully I had added the routing rule. So in this way, how we are going to define the traffic flow to your web application or application gateway, we are going to define the rules here. So based on the rules which are going to define here, the application gateway is allowing the traffic to your backend pools. Fine, just click on next. Next. Here just click on create. In the meanwhile, what I will do, so right now it is just a mission, but currently it is a running state, as I don't install any IaaS service on top of it. If you try to access over web, it is not going to display anything because of no IaaS service has been installed on top of this. So in order to make this, just click on connect and download RTP file. Just click on connect. Here, okay, so because of it has been added as a So right now I am not able to connect to the VM because of it has been added behind of the application gateway. So that's why I am not able to connect. So anyway, I will try to connect to this machine once again. Yes, it has been asking me the password. So here click on OK. Yes. So what I am doing right now, I am going to connect to the VM. So the name of the VM is web server 1. I just added this mission as a target mission or target server, which I had added to the backend server or backend pool 1. So whenever the traffic has been hitted to the front end IP, it is going to route the traffic to the backend pool. The name of the backend pool is BP1. Inside of the backend pool, I have the one server. The name of the server is web server 1. This is the server. Just now I logged in. So here, just check the application gateway has been created or not. So here I am going to create, I just get the error. So here I need to check. So the object ID does not have the authorization to perform. Okay, so what will happen? So here error details. The client with object ID does not have the authorization to perform action. Join action virtual network subnets. Okay, over scope. Okay, virtual network scope is valid for invalid. Okay, if access was recently granted, please refresh your credentials. Okay. Suppose if you want to understand in a better way, just click on the explain with autopilot. Then it is going to help out you what the error it is throwing. It is going to explain this. So guys, this will be very useful. So Copilot is the AI tool which has been provided by the Azure. So in order to ease our work. So insufficient permission, invalid scope. So because of the insufficient performance means insufficient permission, it is going to throw an error. So generally it is not going to do like that. So what the permission it is asking me. So here, okay, I am going to click on the redeploy. So let me check what will happen. So here RG1, okay, click on review plus create. Again, I am trying to make this deployment. Let me check whether it will be succeeded or not. Just click on create. So in the meanwhile, what I will do, I am going to log into the VM and I am going to make add role features. Just click on next, 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 and I'm going to add this IS service, add features, next, 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 install. It is going to install the IS service on top of your VM. So here come down. Let me check once again whether it has been failed or succeeded. So your deployment has been failed. So what I will do here, what the inputs I had given. Okay, east to east. Okay, outputs. So no deployment outputs. Here, as I told you, while creating any resource backend, what the template will be created. So ORM template will be created. So here, generally this is the way we can be able to add the here deployment succeeded. Okay, deployment failed. Here, bad request error details. So just click on the operation details. Provision state has been failed. Okay, no worries. Maybe I think because of the reason. So application gateway. So quickly I'm going to try to create once again. So let me check. So here what I will do, I am going to change the location. So here I'm going to change the location. Application gateway name is Sunil IT Cloud IT Tech. Okay. So here I'm going to select the what I'm going to select Australia East. Okay, that will fulfill my requirement. Here I'm going to make as 1. I'm going to make it as 5. Okay, enabled. Okay. Here I'm going to create one new virtual network. So I'm going to set the name as VNet2 and fine. Click on OK and click on next. Okay, and new FIP. Okay, backend pools. I'm going to add the backend pools later. Then configuration. So application. Okay, previous. I'm going to add the backend. So I'm going to create one backend pool BP1 without adding targets. So adding backend pool without targets. Yes. I'm going to add and configuration. Here I'm going to define the rules. Rule 1 priority 2 and listener rule is ls1 and here okay and go to the backend targets and select the backend IP and backend settings and backend settings 1. Okay, I'm going to add, just click on tags review plus create. Just let me check whether it is going to create or not. Just click on create. So this is all about G. So whenever we want to create the load balance solution in order to make my application highly available and highly scalable, I'm going to select the application gateway is the one of the best solution in order to make the web traffic to the web application. So here let me check whether it will be succeed or not. So application gateway is created. Okay, here it is. We need to the default scope is not valid for okay. So here just click on redeploy. Here I am going to set the RG1. Virtual network we need to. So here what I will do. So I'm going to log into the East US. So let me check. So I'm going to try some other things. So go to the VNet2. So VNet2 what I need to done. I'm going to create one more subnet. The subnet name is default to OKR application gateway. Okay. Here I'm going to make this as natural for no application. Here I'm going to select the application gateways. Here just click on add. Okay, come here. So application gateway, the IP range is 10.0.1.0. Here 10. I'm going to retry to redeploy again. So let me check what will happen, whether it will be succeeded or failed. So anyway, so again it is failed. Maybe some kind of issue is going on backend. Okay, guys. So in this way, we are going to create the application gateway. Hope you guys understood. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining, and I will meet up with you in the next session with a new topic. Until signing off. Thank you. Bye bye.